Well, hey, Becoming Me. I'm so excited to introduce you to my warrior friend, Jen, today. Jen, welcome to Becoming Me.
Hi.
It's so good to see you today. And y'all, as
too.
Jen and I were chatting before today's interview, I even just learned that Jen has been at Becoming events. That's legit. I mean, you're one of the few stories who've been at the event in real life. Most of our community tunes in online. So that's pretty cool.
Yes.
Well, I'm excited for us to share your story today, who you are, who you're becoming. And let's just kick it off with the fun stuff about Jen. Like, who is Jen?
Jen is a Disney lover.
Yes. Oh,
my,
I love it.
I mean, my husband and I, we go all the time. That's where he proposed to me. That's where we did our honeymoon. That's where we're going to go for our 10-year anniversary. So
That's awesome.
that's when people think of me, that's usually one of the first things that comes up.
I love it. That's probably one of the most fun facts.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
That's so cool.
Yes.
And you live in the right state in Florida. You can just drive there anytime.
Absolutely. That's one of the biggest perks.
I love that. That's awesome. Well, I've loved having the privilege of seeing your story in action and what has made you who you are today. So I'd just love for you right now to unpack your story.
Well, I say our story because it's really my husband and mine. It started about 2 years into our marriage when we were trying to have a baby. And nothing ever went our way, basically. We did testing and we did doctors and lots of praying, lots of just times of hardship.
Yeah.
A lot of time of hopelessness, because when I think of my story, I think of all the other ladies that are going through what I went through. And they're still going through it. I still know people that are not yet moms. Yeah. And it's such a tough situation to be in. And in 2015, we decided to try one more time to go the medical route, and found out some things and had surgeries, took medicine. We were so positive. Emily, I'm telling you, we started this process in January, and I thought for sure by summer I was gonna be pregnant. You make that plan for yourself, and you don't really think about what God has into that year. We were on medical treatment, and by December of that year, we finally got it through our heads that the Lord has a different plan for us. And we didn't know what that was, but we had finally decided, you know what, we have got to let go of this, because it was really weighing down on us. I think most women would probably agree, if they're going through this situation, that you feel very alone, and you feel like God has forgotten you. Yeah. And what I learned a month later was He had not forgotten about us. When I was in my darkest moments, and I'm sorry if I cry, because it's been okay. I'm a crier, and especially this, even though I'm now comfortable enough to share my story more, it still is very emotional for me.
Absolutely.
And when we have a large group of friends, and we watch for years them have children, and we love those children so much. We are aunt and uncle, and we still are. But we finally, that December of 2015, decided that it's okay if that's all that we are. If we are Aunt Jen and Uncle Brian for the rest of our lives, we're okay with that.
Yeah.
But it took a lot to get there. It took a lot of prayer. I had people praying for us. I had people texting me in the middle of the night about dreams that they had about us. They were giving us scripture. But all in that, I still felt alone because I hadn't let go of it. And when we did, a month later, we found out about our son. Wow. Isn't that crazy?
Oh my goodness.
And it's it's when I think back on it, and I think about, he was conceived in, I think, early July of 2015, and I was in the midst of medical treatment, and, we were on medicine, we were doing stuff with the doctor. I was going to see the doctor every month, and here God was, unbeknownst to me, because I was so focused on myself, he was forming my son in his birth mother's womb.
Wow.
And I get so overwhelmed at times thinking about that, even now, over 2 years later, that it's incredible. And I feel like somebody needs to hear that while you're in your darkest moment, the Lord is working for you. It doesn't feel like it, but he is. Yeah. And, we found out about him in January of 2016, and he was born in April of 2016. Wow. His birth mother, his birth family is amazing. We were there when he was born. Wow. Things that, we didn't think we would ever get to experience, we did through her and because of her. And now he is a precocious 2-year-old and he's precious. And, it's funny. I go in and I check on him before I go to bed, and I just look at him and I just thank the Lord for him every night, because in all those times of waiting, and there was a lot of them, there were a lot of different things that just didn't work out. And I realize now why none of that worked, because Caleb was being formed and we were being prepared to be his parents. I don't know what the future holds. I just know that the pain was worth it. It didn't seem like it, but it was. And he's a daily reminder of that. So, wow. A little deep, but
thank you for sharing your story and your journey.
Absolutely.
Though.
There's so much more, but this, I feel like this is a good platform to just be an encouragement, because, 1 in 8 couples goes through this. Right. And there's somebody out there treating, and that God has turned his back on them, and he hasn't. Right. He hasn't. Yeah. And I just feel like I felt like that leading up to this, that somebody needs to hear that. Oh yeah, absolutely. That they're not alone. Absolutely. I know it feels that way. Yeah, but you're right. And I love how you worded that in your story, that it felt like he had turned his back on you. It felt like he wasn't there. But little did you know, in your darkest spot, he was actually working for you and embracing that just frustrating patience at times to trust him, that even though I don't see you, I'm going to trust and believe that you are for me, you are with me, and you're at work. Yes. It's a big deal. Yes. It is. It is, and it took a long time for me to realize that. Yeah. It's just incredible thinking back to that summer and what it has all led up to. Absolutely. And I feel I feel like the story needs to be told because, as I said before, there's somebody going through it.
Absolutely.
That I might never meet. I might never see in person. I might never hear their story, but they might watch this and they might hear this story, and it's what they needed to hear in that moment.
You're 100% right. And I mean, you shared earlier 1 in 8 couples. And I mean, I'm sure you, just like me, you have friends that you could count on both hands who have experienced or are experiencing exactly what you have walked through. And the lie in the midst of each of those stories is that you're alone in it. No one else is experiencing that, because you see, like you mentioned, friends around you having kids all the time. And that's what I love about you sharing your story, because it's that tangible reminder in the intangible when we can't see God at work sometimes. It's that tangible thing that, okay, there's this girl named Jen who went through this. She learned to trust God. She came out on the other side. She's a warrior. She's becoming. Maybe I can do that too.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's incredible. You know, if you were sitting down with another woman on her own journey, what would you say to encourage her?
Well, I'd pray for her first.
Yeah.
Because we definitely need our friends to lift us up in prayer. Because it's hard. And I think I would just continue letting her know. I would just honestly let her talk to me. I would be an ear for her, because sometimes the best thing you can do for somebody is just listen to them.
Oh yeah.
And just validate their feelings. Because going through this, not many people really know the true depths of the feelings that you have. And everybody's different. And I would just encourage her to tell her that the Lord loves her and He's with her, and that she has people around her that, whether they understand it or not, they're there for her. You know, a lot of my friends didn't understand what I was going through, but they were there for me. And they were sensitive to how hard the situation was. I would just want to lift a little bit of that burden for her, just to give her that opportunity to help her feel that she's not alone.
Yeah.
I don't know why that keeps coming back to me, but she is not alone.
That's so good. Jen, like, thank you. It takes a lot of courage to share your story. And, I mean, you are a warrior, my friend, for real. And it's my honor to be able to hear your story, for us to share this with the Becoming Me community. And I couldn't agree with you more. There is someone watching who needed to hear this today. So thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. And even if they're not going through the same situation I went through,
Yeah.
any type of trial, any type of situation, you know, it's appropriate for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.